Go.
Oh, we're not taking the jump start.
Yeah.
So, Kim, you talked about in your speech not letting the software product dictate your CAPA process needs, instead making sure that the software product is customized to fulfill your CAPA process. Can you elaborate on that in terms of what you've seen and what you'd like to see differently?
Well, the biggest point that I was trying to make is the fact that people need to make a process, whether it be for their CAPA process or anything, that works for the technology and works for the organization. And then they can show not only how it meets the intent of any regulatory requirements, but also if they're going to use an IT solution, that the IT solution is not driving the process. That the process and how and what works best for the organization, for the technology, actually should drive the tool. And if that tool happens to be a software tool, you know, there's lots of ways to customize tools and everything else. Often we see people accepting an off-the-shelf tool and having things that don't quite fit their process, and then they either don't fill it out without justifying why, and then of course any auditor is going to come in and say, well, why is there this question in box and no answer? Or they start getting into a practice of not performing something adequately. So for example, oftentimes I'll see on a form, an electronic form, that says, is this required to be verified or validated, yes or no? And if the answer is no, and they have to provide a justification, the electronic tool only gives them like a 50-character box to justify that. And of course, that's not sufficient objective evidence or scientific, evidence to capture it. And if there's not some mechanism to reference some other file that provides that justification, simply having those 50 characters is not going to be good enough to meet the requirement as to why was the answer no, and what justification are they not doing the verification or validation. So that's where you just have to be really careful about the tool not driving a culture or a practice, but instead having the practice and the process drive the tool and set up a tool that will work best and complement and enhance a manufacturer's process.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.